Hi, everybody. I'm here. There's some breaking news about Bryan Kohberger. Maybe some of you know, maybe some of you don't know. But they're going to be able to forego the preliminary hearing, which I know a lot of you were looking forward to, because he's been indicted by a grand jury. So what does that mean exactly, right? Let's tell you what that means. So he's going to face the same charges, 4 counts of first-degree murder, felony burglary for the alleged involvement in his killings of the Idaho 4 college students. And the indictment allows the prosecutors to bypass the week-long preliminary hearing that was scheduled to begin June 26th. So an attorney for one of the surviving roommates, Bethany Funke, has argued in a motion to quash a request for her appearance in the preliminary hearing that was set to establish probable cause and should not become a mini trial. Bethany later agreed to meet with Kohberger's attorney in Reno, Nevada, in lieu of appearing in court in Idaho, and filed a motion in district court in Washoe County, Nevada. That's what that said. District court arraignment hearing for Kohberger is set for Monday morning in Idaho. So let's see what else we can find out about this. Let's go here. Let me see this. Okay, so the indictment returned in Latta County against Bryan Kohberger said he did unlawfully enter a home in Moscow, Idaho, and then did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation, and with malice, aforethought kill and murder victims. Excuse me. Maddie Mogan, who was 21, Kaylee Gonsalves, who was 21, Xander Kernodle, 20, and Ethan Chapin, 20. The preliminary hearing in the case was scheduled for June 26th, but that's not going to happen. The prosecutor's decision to impanel a grand jury, which was not anticipated, allows the state to avoid the week-long preliminary hearing that would have required it to present evidence before a judge, as well as permit the defense counsel to cross-examine their witnesses. The grand jury indictment, released Wednesday, does not include additional details in the case. Since January, lawyers, police, and other officials have refrained from making statements after the Latta County Magistrate Judge Megan Marshall issued a gag order, which is being challenged by a coalition of news organizations. A district judge on Wednesday also ruled in favor of the state's request to seal the names of the witnesses who testified before the grand jury. Prosecutors argued that the witnesses could be subject to further harassment and what appears to be intimidation, and therefore keeping their identities under wraps would ultimately help ensure a fair trial with an impartial jury. Neither prosecutors nor Kohberger's public defender said any comments to the media that reached out to them. Kohberger has yet to enter a plea. He's expected to do so at an arraignment on Monday morning. Under Idaho law, a trial would have to take place within 6 months of when a defendant is arraigned, unless that person waives his right to a speedy trial. Okay. Let's see what else we have. Kohberger, of course, remains in Latta County Jail without bail. And last weekend, as we told you, the 4 slain students received posthumous bachelor degrees for 2 of them and certificates for 2. So let me see if we can find out any more. So I know that's probably not what a lot of people wanted to hear, because you wanted to see the preliminary hearing and you wanted to hear from the witnesses and you wanted all of that. But that is not what happened here. So let's see. See if we can It's interesting. And somebody said something earlier today about something about the sheath or something. I don't know what. So he has to enter a plea on Monday. He has not entered a plea yet. Do we have any doubt he's going to enter a not guilty plea? I don't think there's any doubt of that. I know that the victims' families were on Good Morning America. I think that was the morning show, and saying that they were ready to face him in court in June, and now that is not happening there. They will probably be at the hearing. I don't know if that will be in person or if he will be appearing by Zoom, but it is 9 a.m. local time Monday where he'll have to enter the plea. He's expected to plead not guilty. And if that's the case, a judge will set a date for trial. Now, again, it would have to be held in 6 months unless he waives his right to a speedy trial. Let's see. They canceled the June 26th preliminary hearing. He had previously waived a speedy trial and effectively declined his right to head to trial with a mandated time frame. Grand jury proceedings are closed-door events in that they typically will remain under seal. An indictment released to the public Wednesday was dated May 16th. During such proceedings, a panel of jurors hear testimony and evidence related to the crime without defense attorneys being able to cross-examine witnesses, such as in this case, the victim's surviving roommates. Defense attorneys have argued that surviving roommate Bethany Funke should testify during the hearing despite her request not to do so because she had exculpatory evidence. The grand jury proceedings would have allowed prosecutors to question Funke without the risk of defense attorneys asking probing questions. So they could question her, but she couldn't be cross-examined by the defense. News of the indictment comes 6 months after the 4 students were killed inside the girls' rental home during the early morning hours of November 13th. Okay, let's see what else we have here. And see, do we have a bunch of... Let me go over here too. Okay, let me go see something over here. Let me see one thing here. So, 19 hours ago, Court TV reported that Idaho prosecutors say they have given Bryan Kohberger's defense attorneys approximately 10,000 pages of reports, 10,200 photos, 9,200 tips, and 51 terabytes of audio and visual media. That's a tremendous amount of audio and visual media that was shared there. Let's see what's happening. And let me see, somebody just heard something. Let me see, I don't know where my live streaming is. Everything is. Oh, live streaming just went here. Nope. Where's my, I don't know where my, hang on, I have to go to my studio because I'm not even in my live stream, so I can't even see you guys, but I heard something. I want to acknowledge what that was. Let's see. Hey, thank you for being a member for 19 months. So Sergeant Rambler, Chris Reed. Best community on YouTube. Love you, Carolyn. Love you too, Chris Reed. And I'm good, Schmitterling. How are you? Let me see who's here. Hi, Flavia. Hi, Christina Ferrari. Hi, Margot. Chris Ree, L. Betty, you're a transplant from Nashville, Tennessee to Chandler, Tennessee or Chandler, Arizona. Hi, Bergstrong. How are you? Hi, Linda, Sharon. Oh, I'm in top chat and not in live chat. That's not good. Okay. Schmetterling says, how are you? I'm good, Schmetterling. How are you? Betty. Markham. Okay, now I've got this. Linda, Bergstrong, Chris Ree, Sharon, L. And Bucky Ann. Of course, Nightbot. How are you? Tracy Richards, how are you? Yes, he's going to say not guilty, says Christina Ferrari. Of course, right? Absolutely. Hi, 61, how are you? Okay, so let me go back and just see what else we can find out. So yeah, a lot of you are going to be disappointed, right? Yeah. You were hoping, I know Elle was really hoping that it was going to be like a little mini trial, but that's not going to happen, Elle. So let's see what we've got now. Let's go to, see what we can see on this. Okay. I guess it was a reporter here said 4 hours ago, I just got off the phone with the Latah County Clerk, who has confirmed to me Bryan Kohberger has been indicted by a grand jury on all 5 original charges and will be in court Monday at 9 a.m. A grand jury indictment means there's enough evidence to move forward without the preliminary hearing. They can skip that. And this means they will no longer be a preliminary hearing in mid-June, and the clerk tells me he will have to enter a plea on Monday morning. So, of course, we'll cover that Monday morning, which should be 11 our time, I believe it is. Let's see on the what we can learn. So somebody asked, will it be televised? They said, yes, it will be. I imagine it's probably going to be very brief. Let's see, Ashley Banfield said, sources tell me the suspect has been indicted by a secret, she says, she says a secret grand jury of a secret. It was a secret grand jury. In Moscow, Idaho, he will be arraigned on Monday morning in district court. There will no longer be a preliminary hearing on June 26th. And that's what we have there. Let's see what the comments over there say. So does that mean there is more information making him guilty? He makes me sick every time I see him. I hope they find him guilty ASAP. No, it just means they have sufficient evidence to charge him with murder. They don't have to wait till June to present it to a judge in a preliminary hearing. They also use a grand jury to determine what charges to bring against the accused. But it's on all the same charges. They didn't drop any. They didn't add any. It's the same. Let's see. Someone said, why all the secrecy? The more people know, the more aware they become. It's possible that opening up to the public may result in additional information, blah, 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 blah. This feels like a roller coaster. Imagine how crazy this trial is going to be. I thought Darrell Brooks was crazy. We're in for a ride. It's still baffling exactly how he did this. Hopefully one day we will get a confession. Yeah. And so someone said, what exactly does this mean? And they said it means he's going straight to a real trial. So again, he's waived his right to a speedy trial because it would be that he'd have to be tried within 6 months of the indictment. They should be setting a trial date on Monday. So we'll see how soon or whatever it's going to be. With all of that evidence that was given to the defense, 10,200 pictures, 10,200 pages, yada, 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 whatever, they're going to say they need time, I imagine. And since he waived his right to a speedy trial, then Daybell, I heard, is Chad is due to be scheduled into 2024 now. Yeah. So is that what this is going to be? Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Let's see. There's so many conspiracy people in here. People that are saying that this was staged, it wasn't real, this is like a joke. Some lady is in here saying, I just want to say this was staged in my town, connecting the scene of the crime. I told local authorities, and the victim's family is now working with people who have done this staging. This is crazy. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. This is crazy. And, when you search immediately on Google, it will normally put in suggestions, whatnot, and you search Bryan Kohberger, and it's like Bryan Kohberger conspiracy, Bryan Kohberger's framed, all this stuff. It's crazy. Crazy. Let's see. So Monday at 9 a.m. What is today? Today is Wednesday. Gosh, have I been home a week? Have I only been home a week? Yes, I got home last Wednesday in the early a.m. It's crazy that we've been home a week. Okay. Okay, so let me just see here which... I'm going to try one more time on something to see. Okay, so Ashley Banfield was reporting that Brian has been indicted by a secret grand jury. There will be no preliminary hearing. Secret grand jury. Secret grand jury. All right. Okay, so then this is something here. Hang on. This is the Loudoun County Prosecutor's Office. State of Idaho versus Brian Christopher. Kohberger comes now, State of Idaho. Blah, blah, blah. Order sealing the names of all witnesses examined before the grand jury herein in support. The state respectfully represents to the court that it has received numerous complaints from potential and prospective witnesses or their families and associates regarding being harassed both in person and via social media. The reports of harassment have included threats as well as what appears to be intimidation. Given this and the broad publicity surrounding these proceedings, the state respectfully submits that releasing the names of the witnesses who appeared before the grand jury would invite additional harassment, intimidation, and possible threats, and undermine not only the integrity of the case, but the parties' prospective rights to a fair trial with an impartial jury. Wherefore, the state respectfully prays that the court order that the names of all witnesses examined before the grand jury be sealed. The state has communicated with counsel for the defendant and been advised that they have no objection, with the understanding that the state and defense will be provided with an unredacted copy of the witness list. Respectfully submitted the 17th day of May 2023. So that is to get it sealed so that no one is harassed or intimidated. Let me see what this is. Hang on one second. So let's see here. The indictment dated May 16th charges 28-year-old Kohberger with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary, the same 5 charges. Now scheduled to appear Monday, May 22nd for an arraignment at the Latter County Courthouse. Again, the indictment eliminates a need for the preliminary hearing so that June 26th, the week-long hearing is canceled. Kohberger's case will go directly to the district court. His case is being safeguarded by a gag order which prohibits any attorneys, law enforcement agencies, or others involved with the case from speaking to the media unless they're quoting from a publicly available court document. Okay. Now, many media outlets, including Court TV, parent company, has joined a coalition of other media in filing an appeal of that gag order. Okay, and recently prosecutors filed a response to a defense motion claiming evidence they have requested from the state had not been delivered, but prosecutors say they have handed over tens of thousands of reports, photographs, and all those terabytes of evidence in the case. Okay, and let's see here. Prosecutors, okay, were given, again, 10,000 pages of defense was given by the prosecution, 10,000 pages of reports and other written materials, 10,200 photographs, 9,200 tips, and 51 terabytes of audio, visual media, and digital materials. With the defense had said on May 4th, Kohberger's defense attorneys filed a motion to compel discovery, saying that evidence they had requested from the state had not been delivered. Prosecutors filed a response to that motion ahead of the scheduled May 22nd hearing on the issue, saying that as of May 4th, the Latter County Prosecutor's Office had provided all that, what I just told you, 10,000 pages of reports and materials, 10,200 photographs, 9,200 tips, and 51 terabytes of audio, visual media, and digital materials. In their motion, attorneys representing Bryan Kohberger specifically pointed to body cam and dash cam footage from officers involved in his arrest in Pennsylvania, reports detailing forensic evidence collected from his car and his parents' home, and police reports related to his arrest and incarceration in Pennsylvania. In response, the prosecution said all known items had been disclosed and that the state was unaware of any footage beyond what was already disclosed, and on information and belief, understands that there is no body cam footage. Prosecutors say the forensic reports on evidence collected at Kohberger's family home and from his car, including reports from the FBI laboratory in Quantico, Virginia, were given to the defense as well as the opportunity to directly view and inspect items that were seized as part of the investigation. The only record prosecutors said they had not disclosed to the defense, as requested, were the training records for officers involved in the investigation, which the state argued in its response to the defense motion falls outside the scope of discovery. Hold on a minute, hang on, I just want to read something because I think somebody is doing something. Let me see. We have a Betty Markham. Thank you for becoming a deputy rambler. That's very nice. I'm very glad to have you on board. Very appreciated that you've done that. Thank you, thank you. And I heard another little usually signifies something. I just want to make sure of that because I want to recognize. It sounded like, let me just take a little check here for something because so yeah, that we'll get right back on that. So Monday we're looking at a new preliminary hearing. Let me go back to that. Not preliminary hearing, I'm so sorry. A hearing where he's going to enter a plea. The preliminary hearing is no longer necessary. And where did we have our... Here we go. Okay. Kohberger's case has that gag order, and that's being challenged by several media outlets, including the parent company of Court TV. And separate from the media, the family of Kaylee Gonsalves has filed a motion seeking to be released from the gag order, citing their own First Amendment rights. A hearing for that motion is also scheduled on May 22nd. So they were also going to discuss that motion to compel discovery. So that will also be discussed on May 22nd, as well as Kohberger to enter the plea, his plea. Let me just see something else while we're here. See if there's anything else we want to discuss. Let's see. Dad's exit Calico. Let's see. Took a plea deal and evades. Teresa Balboa. I remember this case. We covered this case. Do you guys remember this one? Because there's a plea deal over here. In this case, you guys remember this one? This is Teresa Balboa, the Texas woman convicted of capital murder in connection with the death of 5-year-old Samuel Olson. Remember Samuel Olson? Made a plea deal in Houston court today. Balboa was convicted of a capital murder in the killing of her then-boyfriend's child and subsequently providing false information. By entering into a plea agreement, she evaded the death penalty after a judge sentenced her to 52 years in prison, and Samuel's mother, Sarah Olson, disagreed with the decision, stating that the lengthy sentence is not justice. Quoting her saying, "Today she admitted to what she did for 52 years and the chance of parole in 26. My son didn't even get 6 years of life, and she gets a chance at 1. This is not justice," Sarah said. "You took my life. I can never have closure because of the state the body was returned in. I could not hold him one last time." May 27, 2021, Balboa told police that Sarah Olson and a man dressed as a policeman came to her Webster apartment and demanded Samuel. As Houston police investigated, they noted inconsistencies in Teresa Balboa's statements and followed a trail of lies she spun in an attempt to evade culpability. On June 1st, 2021, Jasper police found Samuel's body inside a Best Western hotel in Jasper, Texas, after her roommate, Ben Rivera, voluntarily called in a tip to 911. Sam was wrapped in sheets and placed inside a plastic tote. His body had been hidden in a hotel bathtub for days before he was placed in the tote. Murder charges against Teresa Balboa came after an autopsy revealed that Samuel died from homicidal violence. A medical examiner later ruled that he died after blunt trauma to his head. Teresa Balboa will be eligible for parole consideration after serving 26 years, but the director of victim services and advocacy at Crime Stoppers of Houston, Andy Cahan, said that it spared Samuel's family from enduring an emotional trial. The plea deal for child murderer Teresa Balboa was the best possible scenario for 5-year-old Samuel, Cahan said. There was no need to put his family through a long emotional trial without a guaranteed outcome. At the very least, the defendant will have to serve 26 calendar years, day by day, before becoming eligible for parole. I told Samuel's family I will personally guarantee she will never breathe free air again. Today, justice was served for Samuel and his family. Well, they don't feel like it was, right? I don't watch General Hospital anymore, but I did in the past. Jacqueline Zeman passed away last week. Condolences to her family and prayers. But this is a General Hospital star. Haley Pulos was charged with driving under the influence for an alleged accident in April, which she drove head-on into another car. She was driving the wrong way on a freeway in Pasadena, California on April 29th. When she did, she collided with another vehicle that was going about 60 miles per hour. Police allegedly recovered marijuana edibles and small tequila bottles from her car. Firefighters had to free her from her car and then assist her into an ambulance. And according to TMZ, a firefighter who was checking on Haley's injuries when she struck them and shouted, "This is a $400 effing shirt." It was also reported that once at the hospital, Haley reeked of alcohol and had slurred speech and watery eyes. She was allegedly aggressive with hospital staff to the point she was sedated. She was subsequently arrested at the hospital. Police told TMZ that Haley was involved in a serious hit-and-run collision before the wrong-way wreck on the freeway, so another one. According to reports, Haley recently told the media that she was taking a break from acting to recover from April's crash. However, she apparently omitted details about the alleged DUI. Doesn't sound good, Haley. I think you need to take a break and get yourself... you're very lucky to have survived that and not killed the other people as well. Crazy. Okay. What is going on over here? Now, as a lot of people know, Disney World, a lot of people get there and there are knockdown, drag-out fights. Well, 2 families broke into an all-out brawl on Monday at Disney's Magic Kingdom. And what was it about? It was about a photo op. It prompted an elderly couple to intervene before the park security could arrive. Orange County Sheriff's Office says it responded to the fist-flying fight, which started because one family asked another to move from in front of a 100th anniversary sign near the park entrance so they could take a photo. When a member of one family punched a member of the other family in the face, it was on. Now, what happened between... Could you just scooch away from that 100th anniversary sign to fist flying, right? We don't... That's crazy. Video taken by a bystander shows the 2 families mixing it up with punches. An elderly couple scurries on over to try to break it up. So isn't that funny? Someone's videotaping and then this elderly couple says, "Oh, we're going to try to get it." Now, they say an elderly couple and watch. They'll be like 52-year-old Ian somebody and 50-year-old. Yeah, that's called elderly in the news, just so you know. Walt Disney World did not immediately respond for a request to comment. Let's see. Okay, here's, wow. Okay. So, a Bronx mother, Bronx, New York, of course, has been indicted on manslaughter charges after she abandoned her 7-year-old daughter in a hotel pool because she wanted to go into the hotel bar to drink. The little girl, Caitlin Pineda, was found lifeless in the Marriott Melville, Long Island pool on January 13, 2022. First responders restarted her heart, but she remained in a coma on a ventilator and feeding tube until she died on May 1st, 2023. Erica Baez, 41, told first responders the girl had been alone for just 5 minutes, when in truth she left the girl alone for at least an hour while she ate and drank in the hotel bar and went upstairs to her room to check on her 5-month-old son, whom she also left alone, unsupervised. The alleged actions of this defendant was selfish, senseless, and heartless, said the Suffolk County District Attorney Raymond A. Tierney. We are going to do everything we can to ensure that justice is served for little Caitlin, whose short life ended too soon. Prosecutors say Baez, her boyfriend, and 2 children were staying at the Long Island Hotel. While her boyfriend was at work, she allegedly asked hotel staff to open the pool gates at about 3:30 p.m. Staff say they told her that there was no lifeguard on duty and she's required to be with her daughter. But instead, she left Caitlin inside the pool gates, headed to the bar. She ate and finished a cocktail, returned to the pool about 30 minutes later, then went upstairs to check on her son before returning to the bar for a second drink. After another 30 minutes, prosecutors say she went back to the pool and found Caitlin in the water. Baez removed her socks and shoes and set her phone aside before going into the water to help her daughter. The little girl suffered irreversible brain damage from a lack of oxygen and was in a long-term care facility in New Jersey. Prosecutors say she became septic and died on May 1st. The indictment charges Baez with second-degree manslaughter and 2 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. Baez was arrested on Monday and made her first appearance on Tuesday, where she was ordered held without bail, and her next court date is May 24th. What a shame. And then some of you followed this case out of Mexico, I believe it's from North Carolina, Shaquilla Robinson. The attorney who is representing the family of a North Carolina woman who died last year in Mexico said this week that U.S. officials are not letting them see case files, including an autopsy report, which stated that she did not suffer any spinal injuries. The lawyer, Sue Ann Robinson, who is not related to the Robinson family, said that FBI officials told them the case is still open despite the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District of North Carolina announcing last month that they would not be pursuing criminal charges due to a lack of evidence. Shaquilla's secondary autopsy, which the FBI ordered a month after her death in October of 2022, was performed by the North Carolina Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. According to the lawyer, the FBI said, we cannot release the documents, which were the autopsy results, to you because the case is still open, because we are waiting for documents to be translated to English that we received from the Mexican authorities. Though Mexican officials initially attributed Shaquilla's death to alcohol poisoning, a death certificate issued there listed her death as severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation, suggesting that the first vertebrae became unattached from her skull, and the report does not mention alcohol. However, U.S. forensic pathologist Dr. Thomas Owens found no spinal cord injuries and listed her death as undetermined. Owens speculated that Mexico's autopsy yielded different findings because Shaquilla's spine was not properly inspected or completely visualized. However, Shaquilla's family believes U.S. and Mexican officials produced 2 different autopsy results because the U.S. conducted their autopsy after Shaquilla was embalmed. Meanwhile, FBI said that Shaquilla's autopsy report can be accessed at this time. Shaquilla's family has not responded to the FBI's latest comment, so it's unclear what other documents they claim are inaccessible. After Shaquilla's death, a video surfaced online which apparently shows her being attacked in a hotel room. During the video, someone is heard telling Shaquilla to at least fight back. In an 18-page information package that was given to U.S. officials in March, Mexican authorities reportedly identified Dejani Jackson as the perpetrator and issued a warrant for her arrest. Jackson was one of the 6 people who traveled to Mexico with Shaquilla. Jackson allegedly texted the concierge about a doctor and where nearby medical services were located as her friend had alcohol poisoning. Jackson ultimately agreed to have a doctor come to their room. The doctor eventually arrived, gave Shaquilla an IV bag. An hour later, she suffered convulsions and died. The concierge told investigators that Shaquilla was said not to be in serious condition, but was unconscious and required an IV. At some point, Jackson allegedly texted him about taking Shaquilla to the hospital, though he learned the group discussed whether they had insurance to cover the hospital trip. I'm live. What is that? I'm sorry, hold on one second. Okay. According to reports, an administrator at the villas told police in November that he believed Jackson is the woman seen beating Shaquilla in the video circulating on social media. Okay. And I just have to check something. 1 second, real quick. Okay, very good. So, let's see now. Though Mexican officials issued a warrant for Jackson's arrest, the U.S. officials say she is not a suspect. Following the FBI investigation, it remains unclear if the U.S. will handle or honor the pending extradition request by Mexico. The Department of Justice and the Department of State stance on extradition is also unknown. So that's a really controversial case, very unfortunate, and sounds very messy, right? Okay, and then we have this very disturbing case here. Asia Calabrese-Lewis, a Georgia mother accused of drowning her daughter in a pond in Sandy Springs, chose to waive her initial court appearance on Monday. 24-year-old Lewis has been in jail since Thursday night and was scheduled to make her first court appearance this week in connection with the death of her 22-month-old daughter, Nirvana Oliver. Sandy Springs police put out an alert for Nirvana Thursday night after they were called to the concourse office complex across the street from the Bishop Apartments where the suspect and the victim lived. An arrest affidavit indicated that the defendant was found naked and acting strange. Said she was on a religious journey after having some type of episode. While interviewing Lewis, she reportedly told police that Nirvana was dead at the bottom of a pool, and police then searched a nearby retention pond where they found Nirvana 3 hours later. She was taken to the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta at Scottish Rite, where she passed away. Police subsequently arrested Calabrese-Lewis and charged her with murder and cruelty to children. An arrest warrant indicated that security footage caught Lewis walking with Nirvana towards the pond at the office park and then going off camera for several minutes before she walked back into the frame while naked. And I can pull this over here. This is from the Sandy Springs Police on 5/11. Let me make this a little larger. 23, around 6:39 p.m., the Sandy Springs Police Department responded to 2 Concourse Parkway in reference to a disturbance call. When we located Calabrese-Lewis, Asia, in the parking deck of the 2 Concourse Parkway. She was having some type of episode. The child's father arrived and asked where the baby was. Calabrese-Lewis Asia then stated the baby was deceased in a pool. What a thing to tell the father. Members of the Sandy Springs Police Department and Fire Department immediately began checking all pools and bodies of water in the area. Oliver Nirvana, 1-year-old, was found in one of the bodies of water. Life-saving measures were attempted, and she was rushed to Children's Hospital of Atlanta, where she was pronounced dead. Calabrese-Lewis Asia was charged with cruelty to children in the first degree and felony murder. She was transported to the Fulton County Jail. The investigation remains active and ongoing. If anyone has information that may be helpful to the investigation, please contact Detective J. Pearson at that email 770-551-6939. All media requests should be directed to Sergeant McGinnis. Very sad story. Okay, and this is a big business park. It is not normally somewhere where children run and play, says Sergeant Matt McGinnis. There are several different ponds. Nirvana's grandfather, Kenneth Oliver, told the media that his son and Lewis lived together around 100 yards away from the retention pond where Nirvana's body was found. Kenneth said his son, Nirvana's father, spotted the defendant on the night in question and asked him where Nirvana was. F that baby, the defendant allegedly responded. Kenneth Oliver is now trying to wrap his head around what happened and why. What could she have done to deserve to be dead at 23 months, Kenneth said. She was the best baby in the world. She lit up any room she entered. A day before the incident, officers were called to a business to conduct a welfare check regarding a potential case of child abuse involving Lewis and an unidentified minor. Police did not press charges since they determined that no criminal offense had been committed. Instead, they referred the matter to the Georgia Division of Family and Children's Services. The Georgia Department of Health of Human Services Division of Family Children's Services is aware of the tragic death of 1-year-old Nirvana Oliver, and we are working closely with law enforcement to assist them in the investigation, was the official DFCS statement. This is it. DFCS first involvement with Asia Calabrese-Lewis was on the evening of May 10th, when we received a report alleging suspected abuse, neglect of Nirvana. We opened a case and attempted a home visit on May 11th. This loss is devastating, and our deepest condolences go out to Nirvana's loved ones. Nirvana's father was interviewed and has not been charged in the case. Meanwhile, Lewis remains behind bars without bail. Very sad. Poor little girl. Very cute. It's horrific. And Florida woman was sentenced on Monday to 30 years in prison for leaving her 7-week-old daughter in a hot car in 2020, killing her. And whatever happened to that mother? Remember that mother? That grandmother that two of her daughter's children died in her care? Megan Dalphin left McKinley Garner in her car in Panama City, Florida. Dalphin had purchased cigarettes with Garner in the car, but she forgot to take her out once she got home. It was not until Dalphin's stepdaughter asked about the baby did she realize she was still in the car. Garner was left in the car for several hours. A blood test confirmed she was under the influence of meth, the mother was. The morning she left her daughter in the car. Drug paraphernalia was also found in the home that was consistent with meth use. Dalphin was convicted of aggravated manslaughter of a child and received the maximum sentence. She can appeal the ruling within 30 days. Let's see. And I think then we are up to pretty much date. Now, I just want to go back to the live here, over here, and I'm going to remind everyone that I'm going to be walking, I'm going to start a new Zoom, be walking in the Zoom today. it's one of the things we do for our members and Patreons. We're going to do a walk, and I usually walk with at least 2 or 3 of our members. We like to get more, and everybody's welcome to join us, even if you're a brand new member or a Patreon. And what that means is that you just come into the Zoom. You just have to download the Zoom app. It's very easy. It's free. It's no cost for you. I pay for the Zoom subscription so that we can be in there unlimited amount of time. That falls on my shoulders, not yours, but you just download a free app. And then you can come in, you can turn your camera on, and you can have it show where you're walking. You might be walking on a treadmill, you could be walking around your yard, you could be walking around your kitchen. We're just trying to all, keep doing that every day and keep going, walking, and a lot of people are getting motivation from it. So if you'd like to start walking, you could start at any time. It doesn't matter if people are doing it ahead of you or people are walking more than you. Everybody walks whatever they're comfortable with. If it's 15 minutes for you, it's 15 minutes for you. If it's 4 miles for me, it's 4 miles for me. It doesn't matter. No one's going to shame you or walk shame you, as Kevin would say, or distance shame you or anything. You just do what's good for you, and we'll be supportive of that. So I just have to bandage up my toe, because I'm not going to let my bad toe stop me. And I'm going to go today, at least I'm going to try for 2.5 miles, but I do want to do the 4. That's my goal, at least the 4. And if you want to, hey Kevin, I didn't see you before. If you want to come in and do it with us, then you can come in and do it with us. And Bucky says, this really pisses me off. She gets high and lets her infant daughter die. There are women like my daughter trying 9 years to be lucky enough to have a baby to love. Unfair. I know, Bucky, and it seems it seems that these people that kill their children, and they normally have like multiple other children too, they have no problems with fertility or anything, no matter what type of drugs they're taking or what they're doing with their lives, right? And then they these poor kids, like that little girl drowned in a pond. I mean, it's terrible. I don't understand why they have these kids to do this, and how they carry these pregnancies, get pregnant, carry them to term, probably without even thinking. And there's people that are trying so hard to achieve that. Very sad. Very sad. We don't know why. Very sad. Hop on the other foot. Yes, Bucky, and I'm just gonna go with it. Usually it gets, hi Social Fade, how are you? So anybody that wants to join us, now let me just explain this. I'll put the Zoom link in the community tab. I'll put it on the Patreon tab. And Bruce Jenner's mother passed away at 96, April 20th. You just found out today. Oh, wasn't even available. Wasn't even aware that his mother was alive in 96. That's a nice age, right? We all hope we can get to at least 96. That would be great if we could all get to at least 96. Kelly B, hi. My daughter would have loved any of them a lot. Absolutely. So many. If they would just, give their children up to safe havens, or, there'd be so many people. It's ridiculous that so many children are killed. It's very, very sad. Hi, kindness counts. Okay. So again, I'll put those numbers up. Now, for some reason, if you have something you can't see those numbers, as long as you can get to me in a really timely manner by email, which you can just get my email. It's in there, carolyn@truecrimechat.org, not .com. Then I will give you the number. But then if you come to me when I'm in my walk, I'm not going to see it. So you're going to have to go like a really timely manner. But I'm going to start putting the number. I'm going to do it right now while we're still here, just in case somebody has a hard time. And let me go here. Okay, let me go over here. And I'm going to quickly just put this in Patreon, and then I'm going to put it in Zoom, and then I'm going to put it into Patreon, Zoom, and then community post. And thank you, Sensria, for becoming a new Patreon on May 11th. We appreciate that you joined us. Okay, very much there. Let me go over here and create this. And since Ria came onto the Zoom early this morning, and I think Deborah and I'm trying to think who else was there. You sucked in for a few minutes. We got to talk a little bit. It was very nice. Thank you for popping on. I'm going to put the Zoom link. Okay, that is in Zoom now. Now I'll go in the community tab and put it on the community tab. Which I'm going to create a post. Put that there. Paste. And we'll say channel members post, and now I'll put it in Slack. And then we'll sign off in just a second here. General, Chow's chicken. General Chow's chicken. Okay. Why is my general not showing up? There we go. Hi, Lacey. Oh, and please have some prayers for our sweet Janae Ann, because she's going through some really intensive medical testing today, and it's scary, and we're hoping for the best possible outcome for that sweet lady Janae. She is a true friend and an incredible supporter of the channel, and an incredible supporter of the women and men here, and just a great person. So let's pray for really, really good news for Janae, that everything comes out really good for her. Hi, it's Bank Evie. How are you? Oh, he could send me a couple of shirts. He said, no problem. Oh, great. That's really good. Okay. Yeah, we do a lot of stuff outside of the live streams. Yes, and we keep the Zooms running, okay? And so that people can connect and people can come and get to know each other and talk outside of the live chats. Are you out there walking already?
Yes.
Well, why? Are you getting a head start?
No, because I went to lunch with my friend and we're walking, but she got way ahead of me because I put the Zoom on.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you guys are way ahead of everyone. I haven't even put my Band-Aid on my toe yet.
Just me.
Well, I don't think Janae's going to be walking today because she's having that test. Hi, Christy, love. How are you? How's it going? So I don't know if Chris Ree is going to be Chris Ree, are you walking with us? I hope she is. Because I hope you are, because Elle is way ahead of me. I haven't even put my Band-Aid on my toe yet.
I'm at the dog.
And I have to put my socks on, and I think I have to put a sweatshirt on because it's a little crispy here. Cool.
Hot here when you walk.
Really? It's cool here. Very cool. Oh, here's Chris Ree. Okay. So, yeah. Hi, Chris Ree. No problem. Oh, here comes Sharon.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody's coming in now. Okay. So, yeah, if you want to come in, and you can join as a member of Patreon. If you can't see the numbers, then you can email, but you have to email quickly because I'm going to be going out for a walk, and then I'm not going to be at my computer, and I can't do it. So I just checked. Let me see. Let me check here. If anybody's emailing for the number. Okay. All right. So far, no. And there comes Debbie D. Hi, Debbie D. All right, everybody. We'll see you later on tonight. I think we're going to be doing, and I should probably put that up. Let me do that right now while you're here to hold me accountable for this. We're going to try an auction tonight. I have no idea how it'll be. It's been a while since we've done one because of the vacation. But, well, there's only one way to find out, right? So we will, I'm going to put it up right now. And I'm going to set it for 10 o'clock because it's 5 o'clock now. That'll give us 5 hours. And let's see here, schedule. Let me see if we even have an auction in there. And we'll see if the response is not there, if we're not ready or whatever, then we will just, we'll just do something else. Maybe we'll look at shells or do a craft. And I do want to do a live crafting Friday, so I'm going to have to get that up tomorrow. That'll be in the evening. Hopefully we'll have a lot of people on. I know Christiane wanted to come on, so maybe she will be able to come on. We'll see. And let me just get this set up for tonight.
I've been cutting fabric.
Have you been?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Barb Olson, I don't know if I knew Barb Olson did quilts. I didn't know they had kits like that either. That's a nice kit. You get everything that you need in there.
Yep.
Well, that's good. I know that a long time ago, my mother and I did like a Popeye quilt it was a baby's quilt that I won it somewhere in some raffle, and we did it. I think I might even have it somewhere, but it was a kit, and my mother did most of it. She pretty much did all the sewing. I don't know what it is that I did. I don't remember, but I watched her do it. Let me see here.
If you've got a sewing machine and you can sew a 1/4 inch straight line, you're good.
I can do that.
Then you're good.
Okay.
But I wouldn't start with that kit. I'm just saying.
No, I know. I don't know if I'll even start with that kit. I have those things I have to show you with the hearts on them. And plus I have a bunch of these books too that have little things. I don't know. We can talk about it later. Okay, let me see here. Any duration. Let me go to the time and put it to 10 p.m. and we'll just see how it is, guys.
All right.
Like I said, if it doesn't work as an auction or a sale, we'll just move on to something else.
Definitely.
And that you gotta be in it to win it. All right. Let me. I set it up so it is 10 o'clock. And hi, Nora. Yeah, I'm gonna get ready to walk. I'm gonna put my Band-Aids on and then my socks. Hi, Nora. How are you? So anybody, I'm going to check it once again. If you can't see the number, you can't for some reason, it's listed in Patreon and on the community tab. And so far, I don't see anybody having a problem. So I'm going to end the live. Hopefully see you tonight at 10. Come by and say hello. Mary Warren, Lady Elaine, everybody. Marianne Frantini, I hope you're doing well. Hope your daughter's doing well. Hope everybody's doing well. Ginny's talking about life. Lisa L, all of you. Rough and Ready, I already talked to earlier. Hope you're doing well. And we'll hopefully see you later, okay? All right, let me end this. Bye now. God bless. Prayers for all. Please keep Janae in your prayers.